If this were a dictatorship, it'd be a heck of a lot easier. Just so long as I'm the dictator.
I've got a pen and I've got a phone. And I can use that pen to sign executive orders.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
My change in party will enable me to be re-elected.
I actually did vote for the $87 billion before I voted against it.
Mr. Reagan will raise taxes, and so will I.
It is the constitutional position. It is the advice of the founders to follow a non-interventionist foreign policy. Stay out of entangling alliances.
This is a dangerous man, citizen. Avert your eyes. Don't you dare listen to this man. Avert your eyes, citizen. He's extreme. He's dangerous. He's crazy. He's not respected.
Welcome, my friends, to Liberty or Death Radio, Episode 6, where we're covering state and local police surveillance. I am your host, Daniel Richardson. At Liberty or Death Radio, we are sounding the alarm of freedom to an awakening citizenry and setting brush fires in the minds of men. You can find me online at DanielRayRichardson.com, on Twitter at LibertyOrDeathR, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/Liberty or Death Radio. All episodes of the show are archived at DanielRayRichardson.com and Spreaker.com/Liberty or Death Radio. You can contact the show at libertyordeathradio@gmail.com. Call into the show at 1-800-FREEDOM. That's 1-800-FREEDOM. We see them everywhere today. Grocery stores and on city streets, at traffic lights. Video surveillance cameras surround us no matter where we go or what we do, except perhaps when you go to the restroom. So we see them, red lights, street cameras. Those are the public ones. Of course, there are private ones as well. But we're more concerned with the public surveillance, video surveillance cameras. One issue with the red light or the traffic light cameras is that there really is no accuser for the motorist to confront, which is a constitutional right. No one who can personally testify to the circumstances of the alleged violation. And just because the camera was operating properly when it was installed does not mean it's operating properly today, as the National Motorist Association says in their report. We've got Trish on the line. Thank you for calling to Liberty or Death Radio. Just wanted to talk briefly about the red light cameras. What are your thoughts on the red light cameras? Obviously, the idea is to be able to ticket those that run red lights, and I know here in the Lehigh Valley, that is a very common problem. We see the yellow, and we think, oh, yeah, we can make this and zip right through that red light. Do you think they increase traffic safety? Is it something that's good? Is it just a source of revenue for the local government? What's your thought on that? Is that a good violation of privacy?
You know, Dan, it's funny that you ask about that. I think, it's a combination, because I think when you know that there's a camera, that you're more cautious about it, because you're like, I don't want to get a ticket.
Got it.
But at the same point in time, does it make you overly cautious? Are you braking too quickly? Is the guy behind you paying attention? I don't really know.
Yeah.
So, is it increasing the safety? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Also, definitely a source of revenue for the city, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be, like, the most common goal, like when you look at local ordinances. I mean, you look at, I recently had a parking ticket there in Philadelphia, and I'm like, whoa, this thing is like $35 or something. I'm like, this is crazy. So it just seemed like all these things are just more for revenue. And,
right, and let's not forget about the fact that they send you a mug shot of your vehicle.
Yeah, and like someone pointed out, really, the driver of the vehicle is really not positively identified. I mean, sometimes he's charged because he owns the vehicle, but it could be his friend, his wife, who knows? Another licensed driver that's actually doing that, and, he's going to be charged with it. I think it was in Chicago that the statute says it doesn't matter who drives, the owner is going to be charged, they're going to be ticketed. I know it just seems like it's spread like a disease, are these cameras on the street, corners. I mean, they're just everywhere. And obviously we have the private sector who have their surveillance cameras, and that's one issue in a sense. And then we've got the public sphere where we have the surveillance cameras as well. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the private versus public? I mean, is it okay in public? Is it okay in private? Neither one? What do you think?
I'm not really sure if I feel like it's okay ever, but definitely more okay with it in public as opposed to private.
Okay.
But I don't know, all around, I don't know. I think I'm pretty uneasy about it all around.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. This is just a rumor, but a friend of mine was saying, at least best I understand, that there was some sort of device in one store he was in that was actually picking up his phone conversation. So it wasn't just video, but they were actually capturing audio as well. I
totally believe it. I mean,
yeah.
And now the cops are getting cameras and wires on them. So Big Brother is always watching us. Don't forget it. 1984.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting because we obviously have the issue with Ferguson. The issue with the Eric Garner just came down, I think, today or yesterday. And basically, clearing the officer of all charges. And so there's obviously this huge push, especially from the federal government, saying all officers need to be wearing these cameras. And in a sense, we can see why that would be a good thing. On the other hand, we're saying, well, with facial recognition technology, then they're going to be picking up everybody's in the view of their camera. So you might be stopped just for a speeding ticket, and your face is going in that. It's being searched through the FBI's next generation technology database, and so forth. So it just seems like there's lots of ways that these things can go wrong.
And what's the burden on the police officer then? I mean, are they making their jobs more difficult also? Because I don't think people look at it from their point of view either.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much video footage are they going to have to watch? Is it more of a hassle for them? Is it compromising their safety and the gear that they wear underneath of their uniform normally to protect them?
Sure.
We don't know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate you calling in, Tricia.
Thanks so much, Dan. Take care.
All right, you too. Goodbye. Facial recognition technology is another component of the surveillance system today. One program allows law enforcement officers to take a picture of a suspect, then search the web, including social media, for that person's image. John Goss out of Massachusetts received a letter informing he had to cease driving because his license had been revoked. He was shocked, and as he said, and after frantic calls, he learned the problem. An anti-terrorism computerized facial recognition system that scans a database of millions of state driver's license images had picked his as a possible fraud. He was flagged because he looks like another driver, not because his image was being used to create a fake identity. His driving privileges were returned, but he alleges in a lawsuit only after 10 days of bureaucratic wrangling to prove who he was. The FBI is, of course, creating the next generation identification, as we'll be talking about later. And the Electronic Frontier Foundation did some research, and it's only about 85% accurate in placing a suspect in a 50-person list. In other words, in 50 guesses, the NGI lets 1 in 7 suspects off the hook. Facebook's deep face system, however, is 97% accurate, about the same as a human eyewitness. You can find us on Twitter at LibertyOrDeathR and call into the show at 1-800-FREEDOM. That's 1-800-FREEDOM. The Philly Declaration has reported that the Pennsylvania State Police have been in possession of a type of surveillance technology known as Stingray since December of 2013. They report the use of this powerful domestic surveillance technology is coming under increasing scrutiny and criticism for its ability to trick cell phones within a targeted radius into connecting to the device by posing as a fake cell tower. The easily portable device can rest inside a police cruiser, for instance, and once the Stingray gathers a phone's International Mobile Subscriber Number, or IMSI, and serial data, the phone can be singled out for closer scrutiny, including real-time location tracking. These devices are in use across the United States by state and local law enforcement. Are they in a town near you? The device is often used without a warrant, and furthermore, its full capabilities are rarely disclosed when investigators do seek warrants from judges. The company that manufactures the Stingray actually has quite a close contract with its people that purchase the technology, saying you can't share information about it, and so this often even applies to judges. Moving on to another issue with phones today, the California Highway Patrol officer accused of stealing nude photos from a DUI suspect's phone told investigators that he and his fellow officers have been trading such images for years. CHP officer Sean Harrington, 35, of Martinez, also confessed to stealing explicit photos from the cell phone of a second Contra Costa County DUI suspect and he called it a game among officers, according to an October 14th search warrant affidavit. Harrington told investigators he had done the same thing to female arrestees a half dozen times in the last several years, according to court records. On Harrington's phone were located 2 photos of a DUI suspect in a bikini accompanied by a text message from the day of the arrest from Harrington to another officer saying, "Taken from the phone of my 1015 while she's in x-rays. Enjoy, buddy." A 1015X is CHP code for a woman in custody. The woman may have been at the hospital to have x-rays taken after the crash. The officer replies, "No effing nudes." A short time later, the affidavit states Harrington sent another Dublin CHP officer, Diane Simmons, the bikini photos with the same message indicating they were of a female arrestee. Simmons texted back, "Nice," and "ha ha ha." Harrington replies, "Just rerun a favor down the road, buddy." Regarding social media, the DEA had set up a fake Facebook account using photographs and other personal information, reports police1.com. It took from the cell phone of a New York woman arrested in a cocaine case to trick her friends and associates into revealing incriminating drug secrets. They actually posted as if they were the woman and so forth and posted personal photos on the Facebook page. There is a lawsuit currently underway regarding the subject. What do you as the audience have to say on this very important issue of the social media and smartphones, which actually seem to be blending these days? Okay, we have Tony on line 1 there.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to Liberty or Death Radio. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, is this something that's good? We should give police this opportunity to be able to bust drug users, right?
Well, no, by no means. I don't see how this doesn't equate to virtual forgery. In a world where things are changing rapidly with technology, I think that this could be forgery in a virtual sense.
Okay, got you on that. Now, there's also programs out there like, say, Clear. We're going to give you this database, and also it's going to search social media sites for a picture. So basically, where detained suspects would be photographed, and it would run this through its facial recognition technology, perhaps in that database, but maybe also online. And it would find their Facebook profile picture, and it would say, "Whoa, you're trying to say you're John Doe, and actually, you're whoever." And
right.
So, I mean, what do you think? Is that fine? I mean, this is all publicly available in a sense. I mean, a lot of times, even if the person has their Facebook locked up, then you can still see their photo and so forth. I mean, is that okay?
I'm a person who doesn't want to give too much power to the state, be it law enforcement or government officials or bureaucracies.
Right.
But the one thing that we as citizens are losing grip with or taking for granted is the Fourth Amendment, if I'm not mistaken, is the right to secure in our own persons, papers, and effects. And
yes.
So we're handing over a lot of our own privacy for the sake of, fun and
security.
Well, for security, one, but yet, of course, that's the Benjamin Franklin quote.
Yes,
at the same time, a lot of people are just doing it because of how fun it is to post their party pictures.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. I understand.
They're not really taking they're taking it for granted that their privacy is basically being eviscerated, not just by the state, but that they're having a hand in it as well too, because they're not being protective of it.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, well, we appreciate your call in. You take care there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening, Tony.
Yep, thank you.
Through the Wall Sensors Advanced Tactical Awareness, reports police1.com. The past few years have seen advances in through-the-wall sensor technology, improving law enforcement's capability to detect the presence of individuals inside a building from a distance. TTWS uses radar to detect even slight motions through building walls, thus providing public safety professionals with increased situational awareness. They say that solid metal can block the radar signatures, as well as rebar and chicken wire can interfere with the results. This is not yet commercially available, but there are some in testing now that can function through a wall at a distance of up to 70 meters, which is around 220 feet. Moving on to aerial surveillance, a Predator drone was involved in the arrest of the sons of Rodney Brossart, who had cows which he had kept on his property, did not return them, and the Sheriff's Department was deployed to the scene. After Brossart was arrested, an armed standoff ensued between his 3 sons and a SWAT team. His sons were located by a border surveillance Predator borrowed from Customs and Border Patrol, which enabled local police to safely apprehend them, according to local newspapers. Now, this is exactly the same type of drone that's being used in Afghanistan now and other countries to take out terror suspects. And so are we really comfortable allowing this type of drone, be it armed with Hellfire missiles, to be flying over our country and spying on our citizens. Now, the persistent surveillance system